bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches ripe.
That's it.
Yeah, but
That's
again,
two.
every
There is
man
the two
says
kind,
that.
two kind of men. Listen, there is the two kind of men. So for me personally, I don't see myself going to bars and stuff like that without my wife. If she wants to go out, she can go out with with her friends because they trust her 1,000,000%. But for me, I don't want to go outside. I have nice life at home. I have my job. I have everything, and that's the kind of man you want. You don't want a man in your life who will leave you because of his friends, who will go out, have a drink by himself and stuff like that. He can stay at home and drink a couple of beers. I have my friends who get drunk on Saturdays, but they never go outside of their home. And their wife tolerate that. Okay, you need a day to I don't know, exhaust yourself to low down your stress or something, and okay, but you don't go outside. You don't spend
Well,
money from your house on stupid things.
this is another thing about toxic masculinity is that men are often pretty terrible to each other, and the men who now you talked about drinking a few times, and like to me, I think drinking is a big symptom of toxic masculinity, and it's something that people like toxic masculinity they don't get as much help for as they should. And what you make a valid point, like your wife is definitely it's her right to go out, hang out with her friends, depressurize, talk about things that bother her. Men are forced from a young age to not be honest, not to be candid about their feelings, about what they're going through. In some ways, I think there are a lot that men can learn from women about how they communicate their problems that they're having to others. And the thing is, men are always told, no, you got to be strong and you've got to be this and that, and never really actually address the things that are hurting you and that causes you to turn around and hurt others. So yeah, that's big.
That's weak man. Like
What? So it's a
weak man.
weak man to like.
Yeah, weak man is the problem.
At all. And
Weak
I
man
think
is the problem. Weak man. Listen, weak man, which cannot control his emotions. It's a problem.
what?
Those types of guys drinking, those types of guys are fighting. Types of guys are making problems. Weak men, not strong men. Strong men can fight his emotions. Strong men can keep it cool, and strong men can fix the problems he ends up in. Like not putting the blame on anybody else, not putting the load on anybody else. He can fix his problems by himself with help from his family, or I don't know if he has somebody. But you depend on yourself. And if I get in trouble and it's my fault, I won't get it on my wife. She doesn't need that kind of problem. I will just tell, listen, I did this, and I will fix it. She doesn't. I don't have to think about how I feel about that, what's my emotions or stuff like that. I need to fix the problem. Then, when I fix the problem, we can talk about emotions and what happened, and to find a way not to do the same mistake again.
What if you can't
That's the
fix?
point. Look, you have two types of problem in your life: problems you can fix and problems you cannot fix. Like to lose your mind or your emotions on something you cannot fix, that there isn't point for that. And to lose your control over yourself for something you can fix, like you just need more and more time to fix it because you are overthinking by your emotions in your head. You have to keep your head clean to solve the problem, not over emotionalizing the things. So I got the problem the
Emotions
other
are a
day.
fact of life.
Using emotions.
Yeah, look, but good emotions are part of life. You don't need to spread the bad emotions on people around you.
What?
You don't need to throw the bad emotions in your head on people around you. You make them sad. You make them unhappy. You keep it to yourself. You fight it with yourself. That's an honorable thing to do. You don't, my emotional problems in my head, I won't throw on my wife. She doesn't need it. She has enough stuff in her life already. So I think that okay, emotions for a guy. Okay, I cry. I cry in front of my wife. I fall apart, of course. But 90% of the time, I keep it cool and I fight. I fight for my family. I fight for myself. I told you the last time.
To me, that says you don't have a very emotionally deep relationship if she doesn't
Yes,
care that you're struggling.
no, she cares, but she cares too much. And if I
Then
say
why don't
something to her,
you share that with her and include her if she does care?
but why? Why do I need to throw my garbage from my head and that
It's
kind
not
of
necessarily.
emotional? Listen, why do I need to throw emotional stress on the wife I love?
I
I
don't know
want her to
why
be
you
happy. I don't
why
want
you
her to
view
be
it all as a negative. Because if she cares so much about you and she's concerned that you're struggling, I think she would feel empowered that you are vulnerable enough to share your emotions and that she can support you in whatever way that is, even if it's just listening.
but she always supports me. I don't need to question her support for me.
In my personal experience, men who bottle things up just end up exploding later. And then I'm really
No.
left. And it makes
Weak
me
men
feel.
explode.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah.
And it has made me feel in a relationship that I wasn't communicated with and that they essentially hid something from me. And it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, but you don't get that I will save you for that from the emotional stress.
Well, you
If I
didn't.
care about my wife, I will save her from the emotional stress. That's it. You
No,
get me?
that's not how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how it
you
works.
may not be giving her enough credit. I mean, you gotta know you're praising her to the skies, but so you gotta know that maybe she's just strong enough to carry a little more, man. Like, it's it's kind of incredible. I mean, women are like cats; they're always happy to take another one into the litter. I just came up with that off the top of my head. I don't know why, but um,
Maybe there's something that she can see that you can't. There
yeah,
is
Okay. I will
that
give
yeah,
you. I will give.
bring.
Can I give you an example? Can I give you an example?
Sure.
So my job. I'm a professional diver, professional rescue service. I dive corpses for my job.
You
Corpses.
drive
Do I
or you dive
dive?
in the water?
Dive. Yes.
yeah.
So, do I need to speak to my wife when I came from the field and I dived a 10-year-old kid who drowned in river and he was under the water for 5 days? I will come home, I will cry, and I will say I had a big stuff. I have. Do I need to say to her, look, I just dived up a kid who was all pumped up and falling apart, and what? Why? What's the point of that? For she can cry for next 10, 15 hours and she's a medical nurse. She cries every time when she comes from the hospital and lose somebody there.
I know
She
it's
don't need the
difficult.
extra
I will
stress.
say it is difficult to hear about stuff like that, especially involving children. But if it is eating you up, yeah, I would definitely want to know about that.
No, it's not eating me up. I'm a man who can handle that stuff and I do that job because somebody has to do it.
You're telling me you found a child underwater and that doesn't have some kind of effect on you?
Yes, it have effect on me, or it always have effect on me. I
I
cry before, I cry after.
understand why that doesn't, like, why that's a negative for you to feel about a certain way about seeing something like that, and
Because
why I'm
listen,
supporting you.
if I,
To
if I, if I start if I start caring about that stuff like that, like you are speaking, I can just I can just take a gun and put a bullet in my head.
I'm not saying
Okay,
caring, but I'm saying it can be
careful.
You know,
not feel something. I mean,
look,
I'm in a profession too that has a lot of impact on people's lives, and I've seen things not go well, and I can still have an emotional and human response to it. It doesn't make you any less of a man or person.
no, it doesn't.
I mean,
Um,
emotions necessarily aren't things you can always control.
You can learn it.
I really this whole idea of like getting over it, as we say all throughout Western culture, get over it. It's like I don't think like human beings are not wired that way. There are human beings that have greater trauma responses than others just based on biology. Um, and it's like we don't really have a choice at all biologically how we process trauma or if we process trauma. We have a musician from Canada died a few years ago named Leonard Cohen. And
Well, yeah, I agree.
I heard an interview, somebody asked him like, how do you get over a broken heart? And he sounds exactly like this. I'm going to do my Leonard Cohen impression right here. You never get over it. Like you never get over. That's like, we don't get over anything. We got to learn to live with stuff. But learning to live with stuff because we never knew what we needed to live with stuff, we need to learn those tools. And you're right. You're a person like me who says in this culture, we're not doing enough here and we're not doing enough there. I feel the same way. We all do. We're all coming from it from different directions. And some of us are a little closer than others. And yeah, I don't know. It's
Like-
a big, like we're discussing, we are three people. Is there someone else on the live?
Yeah.
Yes, am I echoing?
Yeah, sorry, I was worried. I'm hearing this weird background sound, and I was worried. I
Yeah,
was
that's
talking
probably
over
me. I
somebody.
don't have headphones, so I'll
Oh.
back up.
Oh, I thought I was being rude by talking over someone there. So
Look,
No.
long time ago,
Oh shit. Alrighty then.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.